Floridians start their day facing the massive trail of deadly destruction in the wake of Hurricane Milton hitting the west coast of Florida 8 p.m. EST on October 9th, 2024. As I reported on our previous video, at least 4 dead in Florida after Hurricane Milton. St. Lucie County officials say tornadoes that spun out ahead of Hurricane Milton killed 4 people. These are the first deaths in Florida attributed to the monster storm. If you remember, a record number of tornado warnings were issued, most specifically in the Tampa area, Central Florida, and about 19 or 20 tornadoes were reported to be crossing the interstate as if they owned it, and it was destruction all throughout. This was even before Hurricane Milton had slammed Florida, hitting landfall around 8 p.m. EST. Right here, you can see how rescue operations are underway in parts of Florida as the storm spawned tornadoes and left more than 3 million people out of power. Tropicana Field, roof shredded by Hurricane Milton. Let's go ahead and take a look. This is drone video captured by CNN in St. Petersburg, Florida. Left the stadium in tatters, took it out completely in terms of the roof. And they'll have to check the rest of the structures to ensure that nothing is compromised, to ensure that before they start welcoming people in this facility, people trapped in apartments, send SOS signals after Milton floods area.
We're dealing with multiple water rescues here in Clearwater this morning. We're at an apartment complex in the area here. And what we've been seeing for the past several hours is multiple rescue teams going out and rescuing families. We have several boats out in this community, high water rescue vehicles. Right now, you're looking at the sheriff's office out here rescuing a family that was trapped in one of these apartment complexes. This is an apartment complex community with at least 20 buildings. We're told from the chief of police here in Clearwater that this is as bad as it gets. Now, this community is known to flood periodically. The last time we're told someone says they saw something like this in the 70s, but ultimately this is pretty uncommon. I spoke to a resident who's lived here for 19 years. He tells me in the 19 years he's been here, he's never seen anything like this. We're told that the water caught these people by surprise around 2 o'clock this morning after dealing with some heavy rains that came in after midnight in the Clearwater area, high winds and that water rising, just trapping a lot of these people. Someone told me that they had water in their apartment at the chest level. So all morning long, we've been seeing people giving us the SOS signal with their flashlight, calling for help off of balconies, just wanting to be rescued. Now, the sheriff's office and the police chief, they're telling me out here that they know that there are people in almost every apartment in these buildings, and they are going methodically from apartment to apartment on the first floor. Some of these on the second floor were flooded as well. We spoke to somebody who was trapped in his home there. He says he's okay. We know that several pets were flooded too, and so we have been seeing these crews out rescuing these people who've been trapped for the past couple hours. The good news that I can report is that slowly it seems like the water is coming down. Surely, though, several apartment complexes ruined, cars still underwater this morning.
Somewhat reminiscent, of course, at a more severe extent to what I experienced during Hurricane Sandy. I had water up to my waist, and I saw my vehicle, and something in my mind told me I've got to save the car. It was done. The water line here, nonetheless, looks like it's at around 5 feet or so. I'm just guesstimating at this juncture, but you can see how high up the water level is in regards to the cars. Cars are completely submerged in this community. Poor lady, she's waiting there. There was a gentleman that was rescued holding a baby. It's incredible. My God, just look at this. Witnesses major flooding near University. Milton barreled into the Atlantic Ocean on Tuesday after plowing across Florida. The storm tracked to the south in the final hours and made landfall as a Category 3 Wednesday night in Siesta Key, about 70 miles south of Tampa. The situation in the Tampa area was still a major emergency as St. Petersburg recorded over 16 inches of rain, prompting the National Weather Service to warn of flash flooding there as well as other parts of western and central Florida. As dawn broke Thursday, officials repeated that the danger had not passed. Storm surge remained a concern. Nonetheless, I have heard a report where the storm surge was not as high as projected, though the deadly storm surge feared for Tampa appears not to have materialized. The city saw flooding from rain. All right, St. Petersburg residents also could no longer get water from their household taps because a water main break led the city to shut down services. Wow. So the fabric that serves as the roof of Tropicana Field, home of the Tampa Bay Rays baseball team in St. Petersburg, was ripped to shreds by the fierce winds, as you saw in the video that I just shared. Just inland from Tampa, the flooding in Plant City was absolutely staggering, according to the city manager. We have flooding. I wanted to see what was the tornado that, I mean, unfortunately, my heart goes out to the families of these people that lost loved ones during these tornadoes, but there was a record amount of tornado warnings issued. Take a look at this gentleman that we saw yesterday. Hopefully, everything worked out for him. But nightmare.
But what if it could be tremendous?
It's interesting.
Straps and hooks. Pedro Casares showing us his unconventional approach to keeping his Orlando home intact through Hurricane Milton.
Preparing my house for the hurricane. Right now, as you can see, the hooks on the floor, they're 8 feet deep of cement. They have rods in between, and it's to hold the friction of the roof from lifting.
His daughter explains the unique idea was born from experience more than 2 decades ago while Pedro and his family lived in Puerto Rico.
We had a hurricane that we went through,
Se
and the back
respeta.
of our roof lifted a little bit. It was aluminum.
Now, roughly $2,000 in for the cement.
Let's see what Ron DeSantis is saying at this juncture. DeSantis focused on recovery, but says Hurricane Milton not as biblical as Helene. DeSantis warns residents to hunker down as Milton makes landfall. That was last night. Okay. He typically posts updates, so 7 hours ago. As of 8 p.m., it made landfall. As we reported earlier, these are numbers. You can visit flgov.gov if you need to get in touch with any of these agencies that are offering resources, as the governor marshals all resources available to him.
Just to go ahead and take that vantage point full, so we can keep an eye on that
At
here.
Latcha Bridge.
The rotation should be crossing over the bridge here at any moment. We get radar scans about every 6 minutes. So this is looking eastbound. So we're looking right to left. So it would come right to left. There you go. So we're looking back towards our studios on Pine Island. So the camera is looking eastbound, and we're right there on the bridge. So if we are to see a water spout or a tornado, Andrew, I'm going to stay on this view here for the next little bit as we continue to.
Let's take a look at that tornado.
As well, they're watching it. If you guys happen to see something, well,
This is why you shouldn't be on the roads right now.
This is a great reminder.
Yes, crossing.
So again, right picking up as that particular thunderstorm moves over that area too. This is a very dangerous situation.
Look, Trent, look at the water on the right
there you go.
side.
See the water, Andrew? Right there. Right there's your rotation. That is the actual. There it is.
Oh, wow.
There it is. There it comes. So again, right to east, that is the potential water spout, potential tornado moving right over the Matt Lachey Bridge. Boy, oh boy. So look at this picking up, guys.
This is why you shouldn't be on the roads right now.
This is a great reminder that this vehicle is stuck right in the middle. This is why we told you guys you had to evacuate early this morning. So we have got a very distinct rotation showing up right now on the velocity images. This is passing over the Matt Lachey Bridge. This vantage point is looking from west, looking eastbound towards our studio. So this is going to continue to move over Matt Lachey, and you can see those intense winds really moving that camera around. And it seems to be getting worse as that rotation is moving right over the Matt Lachey Bridge.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Just, zero visibility. Just unbelievable. Andrew, this has got to be it, right?
This is it. Wow. And so talk to me a little bit, you guys. This is Amy joining Trent and Andrew. Talk to me about
Can we open Amy and Brett's microphone?
Yeah, all mics are on. So, man, those first responders, you see, this isn't even really the thick of it, right? These are just those first few bands, Trent.
This is that first main rain band that's moving through. And this was the one that we talked about in our morning coverage. Every single one of these cells was rotating. All right, we just got a new radar scan 2. It is pulling right over the bridge as we speak, and you can see how intense the winds are in that circulation. Look at this. Look how bad this is right now.
How long does something like this typically last for people who are in that area?
These storms are racing off to the north. We've seen them as high as 55 miles per hour or as low as 30, and you could already see the view getting a little bit better for the Matlacha Bridge. So if that indeed was a waterspout / tornado,